The Unfiltered Fury. Adil Ray's shocking GMB moment that exposed Britain's environmental catastrophe. The digital echo chamber of morning television rarely registers above a gentle hum, reserved for celebrity gossip, political sparring, or the latest viral kitchen hack. But this week, Good Morning Britain, GMB, didn't just break the news. It broke the illusion of Britain's unspoiled countryside. And at the heart of the explosive high-engagement debate was presenter Adil Ray, whose reaction to a devastating environmental report became the defining, shocking moment of the broadcast, proving once again why he remains one of the nation's most divisive and essential voices in daytime news. The shocking news wasn't a celebrity scandal or a government blunder, but a crisis far closer to home, yet somehow more easily ignored. The revelation of a terrifying contamination crisis engulfing Lake Windermere, arguably one of England's most treasured and picturesque natural landmarks. The moment the shield dropped. The segment began with the familiar urgency of a breaking story. Co-host Kate Garraway introduced the report, the findings of a 2.5-year, extensive investigation into the water quality of Windermere. The findings were not just bad, they were catastrophic. Levels of harmful bacteria, including E. coli, were discovered in numerous samples, failing basic water quality standards, particularly in areas busiest during the summer months. The tranquil image of the Lake District was instantly shattered by the hard-hitting facts of sewage and pollution. But it was Adil Ray's response that cut through the typical journalistic detachment and sparked the real high-engagement frenzy. As correspondent Juliet Dunlop detailed the deeply troubling contamination, the camera cut back to the studio. Ray, usually quick with a sharp political retort or a light-hearted quip, was visibly affected. "That's really concerning in such a picturesque and beautiful and really used space," Sean Fletcher observed from the news desk. Ray's reply was heavy, delivered with a mix of resignation and genuine anger that instantly translated into trending social media hashtags. "It really is," he concurred, before delivering the punchline that defined the segment. "You can almost bear with how pollution might enter our rivers, but the lakes? They're not usually inhabited places. Not a lot of people there necessarily." But it was his follow-up that truly resonated, encapsulating a nation's weary cynicism. "That's really worrying," he stated, before pointedly adding, "and yet, I'm not surprised." This one phrase, "I'm not surprised," became the lightning rod for public emotion. It was an unfiltered acknowledgement that for too long, the environmental plight of the UK's waterways has been a festering wound, ignored by those in power and only now too visible to dismiss. The social media eruption. From outrage to accountability. The reaction was instantaneous, validating GMB's status as a high-engagement powerhouse. Social media was flooded, splitting the audience into camps of furious agreement and defensive skepticism. On one side, the praise for Ray was effusive. "Finally, someone on morning TV says what we're all thinking. Not surprised. This is what years of underfunding and deregulation gets you," wrote one commenter. Another added, "Adil Ray's anger felt real. He spoke for everyone who cares about our national treasures being destroyed before our eyes." His powerful, almost despairing honesty was seen by many as a necessary break from the sanitized discourse of morning news, injecting raw, human reaction into a crisis. On the other side, the segment intensified the already heated, and always high-engagement, debate surrounding Ray's general presence on the show. Ray, known for his forthright opinions and unsparing interview style, often divides the audience. His recent return to the GMB rota had already led to a torrent of divided responses, with some viewers celebrating his return and others aggressively declaring they were switching off. "He's using a serious ecological issue to push a personal agenda," one critical tweet read. "It's a huge problem, yes, but do we need the theatrics? Just report the facts." This dynamic, where the news and the messenger are inextricably linked, is precisely what creates GMB's signature high-engagement environment, and Adil Ray is a master of navigating it, whether by design or by sheer force of personality. The deeper environmental truth. The reason the story resonated so deeply, beyond Ray's visible distress, is its frightening implication. Lake Windermere is not a polluted industrial canal. It is the jewel of the Lake District, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a vital tourism hub. If contamination can become this severe in such a protected and revered area, what hope is there for the nation's less loved, everyday waterways? Ray and Garraway's discussion touched upon the core issue, the failure of the infrastructure, the regulatory bodies, and the political will to protect the environment. Garraway lamented, "It's those treasures we're destroying before our eyes," a sentiment that echoed Ray's cynical, not surprised. The segment moved beyond merely reporting the findings to demanding immediate, decisive action from campaigners, a call to arms that GMB viewers are uniquely poised to amplify. Beyond the headlines, the long-term impact. This single powerful segment will likely be remembered as a flashpoint in the growing national conversation about water quality. It was a moment where the lines between news anchor and concerned citizen blurred, creating the kind of authentic, emotional television that generates mass viewer engagement. Adil Ray, by voicing his worrying lack of surprise, managed to articulate a collective national anxiety that our natural world is under a slow, relentless assault, and the picturesque facades we rely on for comfort are crumbling. The shock was not just in the E. coli count. It was in the confirmation that one of the UK's most beautiful places is, ecologically, sick. And thanks to Adil Ray's unvarnished reaction, it's a sickness the nation can no longer afford to ignore. The battle for Windermere's future, and indeed, the future of Britain's natural environment, was dramatically launched into the national consciousness via one shocking news bulletin on a quiet morning show, cementing Ray's role as a key player in shaping the day's most important and most debated narratives.